It's another game for the SEC Lady Gamecocks. They chasing history, man. This time versus the Auburn Tigers at home in the CLA. It's Chuckin Buckets, man. Welcome in where we cover everything South Carolina Lady Gamecocks. I'm your host, Coach I, man, and that's my guy, KB. What's going on, KB?
Man, good, man. Everything good for you your way?
Yeah, man, the temperature's starting to warm up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? At least I say warm, but it's not 29 degrees or 18 like it was last week. So it's always good that way, man. Just looking forward to another good week of ladies basketball, man. How you feeling this week?
Man, good. Same this way, man. Just want that weather to change up a little bit, man. But no doubt, definitely look forward to some good basketball going into this weekend.
That's right, man. It's the South Carolina Auburn preview, man. Let's go ahead and spin that intro. Chucking Buckets. You know how we get down, man. Just to let you know, today's episode brought to you by Swipe Fast. That's swipe with a Y. Swipe Fast. If you're looking for a way to keep majority of that hard-earned profit, you know what I'm saying, and still continue to grow your business, check out Swipe Fast. It's a merchant services company that's got over 26 years of combined experience helping businesses of all sizes, man, with debit card, credit card processing, things of that ways, you know, in the most efficient and cost saving ways, man. So whether you're a restaurant, retail store, e-commerce, or you process business to business payments, Swipe Fast has a solution to fit all the needs, man. You can visit them at swipefast.com. That's swipe with a Y, fast.com. Or you can just call them at 1-800-597-0713. No strings attached, and get you a cost analysis. Don't forget about ask about that revolutionary pricing cash discount too, man. It's saved business owners up to 99% of the current processing fees. Let them know Chuck and Bucket sent you, man. Now back to the regular scheduled program. All right, welcome in Gamecock Nation. Listen, it's Chuck and Buckets with Coach IKB, man. We here to talk Lady Gamecocks taking on the Auburn Tigers at the CLA in Columbia, South Carolina this week for another SEC matchup. If you're new to the channel, man, this is Chuck and Buckets on the Fanatic Sports Network, where we cover all things South Carolina Lady Gamecocks. And this week we here to preview the Auburn game. Now I know some of y'all say, "Hey, man, why are we previewing the Auburn game? They are like 500 team." Hey, as a coach, and Dawn Staley will tell you this, man, every game is important. You just never know when you got to bring your A game because somebody might be able to hit some threes and things of that nature. But we also want to talk about chasing history, KB. Them Gamecocks out here trying to get another piece of this history.
Man, that's what it's all about, man. And part of this history, I think, just goes into the legacy of Dawn Staley, the legacy of the Lady Gamecocks, and just this wave that they've been on the last 4 or 5 years, or even past that as well. And to your point, man, you still can't just sleep on anybody in the SEC, no matter what the record looks like, no matter what the players that you're going to be playing against, because there's like you said, as a coach, there's always something to work on. You know what I'm saying? There's something that we didn't do good the last game that we need to be able to improve in this game. You know what I'm saying? Even though the scoreboard might look like a win, but as a coach, you might have still seen some losses in that game. You know what I'm saying? From loose balls that you didn't get to, missed shots or missed rotations, and still got to be on your P's and Q's so you can get ready for the even the game after that, and also going into the tournament in a month or so.
That's right, man. And some players that may have not played good against the Tennessee Vols this past Monday, maybe looking to get back on track. Lady Gamecocks did come out of Knoxville with the win. They were up big, but then Tennessee put up a fight at the end. I think a lot due to some of the South Carolina missteps, but they're looking to correct those kind of things going into Sunday playing at home. Listen, man, this history they chasing is the home SEC win streak, man, and the Gamecocks are currently at 69, tied with the teams from Tennessee from 1991 to 96. That included, the legendary players like Nikki McCray, Shamika Holesclaw, under the legendary rest in heaven basketball coach Pat Summitt, man. This would be huge. You said, like you say, for the legacy of the Gamecocks, Dawn Staley, just the program in general, man, and just women's basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like to show that you can be this dominant, man. It's like it's not just the guys that are this dominant and the wins don't go back and forth. I know some people don't like dominant teams, but I actually, whether it's the team I root for or not, I like to see some some what we call what they call it when you win the dynasties. You know what I'm saying? I like to
Yeah.
see dynasties. You know what I'm saying? Because one day they gonna do a 30 for 30 about these Gamecocks.
Oh man, you know that's coming. You know that's coming, and you know you us as whether coaches, whether it's parents, man, it's all about the legacy, man. And like you touched on with the even the Pat Summit thing, like man, you talk about one of the goats, just not in the SEC basketball or even Tennessee, but you talking about all of basketball, right? When you talk about
Right.
Pat, Summitt, even coming off that, the Pat Summit week, the I think last week, but just to be mentioned in that same breath with Pat Summitt and Dawn Staley. That's just an honor for Lady Gamecocks in general, no doubt.
Right, man. Let's jump into some things about this game coming up, man, where they trying to chase their history, man. Talk a little bit about the stats. For the Gamecocks, when it comes to individual stats, it's kind of spread out because they are so deep. You know what I'm saying? You got freshmen leading the way and Joyce Edwards, 12.2 points a game. Don't sound like a lot, but when you spread that out and you got multiple players in double figures, it add up real quick. You know what I'm saying? I think for Wiley, if I'm not mistaken, coming off the bench, just like Joyce Everest, is second in scoring for South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. So you got Chloe Kitts leading the team with rebounds, 7.5. Another one of those bigs is really good. And then Raven Johnson leading with an average of 3 assists. Just all around performances from the Gamecocks. Again, none of the stats may not, pop off the screen like some of the Auburn players we'll talk about, but because it's such a team effort, you just don't know who's going to hit you on any given night.
No, no, you're right. I think that just kind of speaks to the depth, which we've touched on probably like maybe every podcast. Like we know anybody can get off at any time, right? Like I said, the starters can get off, the bench can get off. Absolutely, when Full gets in the game, she's got the green light, and as long as she's taking good shots, I'm sure that's what Don wants. You know what I'm saying? That's what the team wants for them to take good shots. But I think it just speaks to a team effort. Like you can anybody any given night can get you 20 if you needed to.
Right. And now on the Auburn side, they do have a couple of girls. They go when we say they go deep, they definitely play a lot of people. They play about 8 people, average of 15 minutes, and could go 9 or 10. Now that doesn't mean that they have the same talent as South Carolina, but the fact that they do go deep gives them a better chance maybe than some teams that only go about 5 or 6 deep because the girls won't get as tired. We saw in that Tennessee game that they played at the breakneck pace. You know what I'm saying? Doing those hockey lineup changes. You know what I'm saying? 4 or 5 at a time. Man, it almost felt weird for South Carolina to only be doing 1 or 2 people at a time. But Auburn's kind of similar. I ain't gonna say they're gonna make those hockey changes, but they do play about 8 or 9 people. They got Deanna Gaston. She's averaging 21.5 points a game. You won't see that from a Gamecock because again, the production is so spread out. You know what I mean? So
Right.
um, now, do you think that means that if Deanna doesn't have a good game, if I hope I'm saying her name right, that like all hope is lost for a team that's only got like one player that's averaging that much?
Man, you want my honest opinion, man? Yeah. And if she's not getting her regular 20 21 a game, man, it's a 30-point game. It's a 30-point win for the Gamecocks at that point. I know we'll get the predictions here in a second, man, but from a consistency standpoint, it looks like she's been the only consistent player from a scoring uh, just scoring position for the team. So they definitely need her to have a good game, but they also going to need a couple other players to step up, man, and get some double digits in scoring and really on the defensive side, man. They're gonna have to step up there too if they want to make this a competitive game.
That's right, man. And with that said, man, we're gonna talk about what we think that they can do. That's Auburn to win this game, or what I think is be competitive. Competitive. So when I'm looking at the team stats, one thing that jumps out of the page, they're averaging almost 17 turnovers, and we know how good the Gamecocks are in transition. So if I want to talk about how they can stay in the game and have a chance to win it, they got to minimize these turnovers, KB. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't turn the ball over against, even if South Carolina's turning it over, just the same. It's like it's different because they have they turn your turnovers into points. You know what I mean? So
Right, right.
one thing I would say is if I'm looking at it, if I'm the coach, like we got to minimize the turnovers and try to hit the boards. In the last 2 games against Tennessee and LSU, South Carolina's been out rebounded by double digits. So let's hit the boards, get some second chance points, limit our turnovers. that's how I'm looking for Auburn to try to stay in this game and have a chance to win. KB.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't disagree with that at all. They got to be able to hit the boards and kind of look at the last couple games that the Lady Gamecocks have played, and to your point, have been out rebounded. And it's going to be another rebounding by committee from these Auburn Tigers if they want to stay in the game. They're going to need second chance points when you look at offensive rebounds. Uh, but at the end of the day, they're going to need the Lady Gamecocks to be off their game. I believe. You know what I'm saying? I think to your point with the turnover margin, if the Lady Gamecocks are turning that over 15, 17 times a game, that puts them in a situation where the Auburn Tigers could possibly win. But they need a few things to go their way in order to just kind of be in that game, man.
Yeah, and then we talked about chasing history, and you and I both as former players in our own right, man. When you put a lot on the line, sometimes that change your mindset. Like maybe like when a player's going trying to surpass 1,000 points, or they're trying to get a coach 100th win, or in this case trying to get that 70th win to beat Tennessee, to pass Tennessee in the record books for home SEC wins. Who knows? Maybe they're. I mean, I think Dawn is a one of the best coaches to ever grace the game of women's basketball. So I think she'll have them mentally focused. But she even said in the post game, you just never know what team you're gonna get. So hopefully they'll be focused and not be focused on the game and not focus too much on trying to get the win and make it happen and pressing. But from Auburn's standpoint, that's kind of what you want to have a shot to win this thing. You know what I'm saying? So now on the other side, what do we want to see this week from South Carolina in trying to get this win and surpass their history?
Man, I think we got to see some improvement from the last couple games when we just touched on as far as being out rebounded. I think we got to see the Lady Gamecocks just improve from a rebounding perspective. Out rebound your opponent. Let's make improvements on that side. Let's minimize the turnovers and those opportunities that we had from the LSU game, from the Tennessee game. Let's minimize those and close the gap on those particular opportunities. And I think at the end of the day, as long as they don't turn the ball over, I think they're good. To your point a few seconds ago, with playing this type of game, sometimes this is the toughest games to play. Sometimes mentally, because you going in thinking that you might blow this team out, and it's hard to kind of get up for this type of game. But then you got the record kind of behind you as well. Thinking about that part of it, but. Sometimes these are the toughest games, man, from a mental perspective. And Dawn just want to have her, young ladies ready to play.
Right, man. We talked about a couple of our previews how the Gamecocks sometimes start out a little slow. What I want to see is I want to see them start out fast and stay fast. Again, they jumped out on Tennessee and it was looking like it was about to be an ugly route at some point. And then I ain't gonna say they took their foot off the gas, but they started making some mental mistakes. We talked about the full court pressure, possibly having some turnovers. We saw that Tennessee was able to make the score look respectable and get back in the game, and almost, I wouldn't say have a chance to win, but definitely, in those closing minutes, make you think, hey, what are they doing? I want to see this week when they play Auburn, man. Let's get out on them and let's stay out on them. Let's go ahead and put the foot on the neck. You know what I'm saying? Get the one or two girls that don't get to play some playing time.
Right,
It's
right.
not many because the Gamecocks go deep like that, man. But I want to see that. I want to see the defensive intensity stay up like it always is, and then, like I said, just keep the intensity high. And honestly, I mean, we're about to get into it now, man. But for the predictions, this kind of goes into what I want them to do to win, to stay hungry the whole game, man. Honestly, I feel like this should be a very lopsided win, KB. Like, I mean, I don't know what a score would be. I guess you look at it like I mean, I could easily see this game going 75-45.
Oh, yeah, yeah, no doubt about that, man. I mean, I'm giving Auburn a little bit more credit. I think that maybe they hit the 60 mark, but that's 60 mark is like in trash type minutes, like last
Right.
5 6 minutes. You know, what I'm saying people are maybe getting some trash baskets or some things here, but I think I do see a 25-point win. Maybe 85-60, something like that, leading the Gamecocks. But yeah, I see the Gamecocks just putting up a lot of points, and a lot of that just coming from their bench and resting those starters, maybe going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, like we talked about earlier, Auburn has a select few girls who, getting a lot of the points and not spread out, whereas South Carolina can hit you in waves. Auburn's averaging just under 70 points a game. but giving up 60 points a game. And on conversely, the Gamecocks are averaging 81, almost 82 points a game, and only giving up 55. So again, if they're playing home, if in the CLA, man, the Colonial Life Arena, and that crowd gets rowdy, and if they get out on them early, this could be what I'm saying, especially them, and it could work in their favor. Like once they get out on them early, they start thinking about the record. Now they really want to get out there and kill them for for the school, for the coach, for each other, things of that nature, man. So that's how I kind of see this game going, man. So a player I want to see have a good game. I want to see Papa have a good game. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to see her shooting it like like we know she can from the 3-point line, and I want to see her do that consistently the whole game. Like we know that Fuwale gonna come in there. She gonna Fuwale can get that spot at no time. And Joyce Edwards is almost she missed consistency. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But I want to see, because now we're starting to try to on the downhill side of the SEC tournament schedule, or right there in the middle getting ready, and then you want to ramp it up going into the SEC tournament. So getting that long ball going be real good. You know what I'm saying?
no, I like that, man. Just to call out another player, since we're calling out players, man. I want to see young Maddie, man. She's a freshman that kind of came into this year. I think we see her kind of leading the charge once Raven is gone at that point guard position, man. But I really like her game. It's a
Mm-hmm.
smooth game. It's not a forced game. She'll get some more minutes, hopefully in this game. I know she had some injuries kind of earlier in the year, or a few games back rather. Just kind of see what that bench has, deep in the fourth quarter. Because to your point, man, you never know who we're gonna need going into the SEC tournament and also into the big NCAA tournament.
Thanks, man. Hey, listen, if it's your first time here, it's Chuckin Buckets with Coach RKB, man. We talk all things Gamecock, Lady Gamecock basketball. So hit that like and subscribe and share with some more Gamecock. Share with some friends that's not Gamecock, so we can get them in here to see what their opinion is. Let us know who y'all think the leading score will be this for this game, and what you think your score predictions are. Hey, man, again, it's Chuckin Buckets on the Fan Sports Network. That's KB. I'm Coach I. We out.